Chapter 24:45. The next day, Yi Wanwan and Si Yihan went to the civil administration office early in the morning to obtain their marriage certificate. After obtaining the license, the first thing Yi Wanwan did was announce it to the world. "Baby, come here. Take a picture with me." Yi Wanwan pulled Si Yihan toward her. She used the festive red backdrop that was the civil administration office and took a photo with him. Then Yi Wanwan clicked open her friend's circle and also took a photo of their marriage certificate before posting it along with the photo of her and Si Yihan. She paired it with the description, "I've traveled to many places and seen many sights, but no matter how far mountains and rivers stretch or how much flowers bloom like a piece of brocade, they aren't as good looking as you." Yi Wanwan posted this using her main WeChat account, which had many friends, including people from both China and the independent state. As soon as this status was posted, regardless of whether they were from China or the independent state, her entire friend circle exploded. Gong Su truly deserved the title of Gossip Prince. He successfully managed to be the first one to leave a comment. Due to being too emotional, he lost all ability to speak and could only drop a countless amount of exclamation marks. And then, Gong Su immediately screenshotted this status and sent it to their company WeChat group chat. This message and friend circle screenshot from Gong Su successfully forced all of the lurkers in the group out of silence. Luo Chen, Fei Yang, damn, what the heck is this? Where did you this photo? You PS'd it right? Gong Su, PS my ass. Brother, you just posted this on her friend circle. Take a look yourself. Fei Yang, I've returned. It's true. Jiang Yanran, wow, Wanwan actually got her certificate with President Xi. Congratulations, congratulations. Han Xianyu, Yi Bai's location tag is Imperial City. When did she come back? Gong Su, I'm going to socially withdraw. I actually had no idea when brother came back. And I only found out brother Yi got married from her friend's circle. Am I really not brother Ye's most beloved little darling anymore? Luo Chen, when were you ever? Gong Su, damn. Do you want to fight, Luo Chen? What time is this? Why are you still fighting with me? Brother Yi has been stolen, wah. Upon seeing the chaos in the group chat, Yi Mufan finally appeared late to the scene. Yi Mufan, calm down, Gong Su, how could I be calm? Say, CEO Yi, aren't you too awful? You must have known already, right? Why didn't you tell us earlier? Fei Yang, that's right. CEO Yi, it's your bad for causing us to be stuffed a mouthful of dog food so unexpectedly. I wasn't prepared at all. Yi Mufan. Ha, you've eaten this little bit of dog food. Is it a big deal? Because today is Si Yihan's birthday, she insisted on preparing a birthday surprise for her man at midnight last night, so she ordered me to drive her across half of the Imperial City. Not only did she steal household registration booklets, but she also went searching for fireworks all over the city. After that was done, I had to go to the lakeside and endure the chilly wind in the middle of the night to help her release fireworks and make it romantic. What? You've only seen a status update yet you feel wronged? Huh? Gong Su, ahem, It looks like you're the more tragic one, CEO Yi, haha, Fei Yang, plus 10,086. CEO Yi is more tragic, Jiang Yanran, brother Mufan, you've suffered. If they had dog food scattered over their faces, then Yi Mufan was probably directly sitting on a mountain of dog food. Chapter 24:46. When Yi Wanwan's post was published in her WeChat friend circle, the people in the independent state also saw it naturally. The first person to notice it was Big Dipper. Big Dipper's eyes shot open. Damn! Sis Feng and Lord Azura got their marriage certificates in China. Are they at rocket speed? Isn't this too fast? First Elder, Third Elder, and 7 Star turned to Big Dipper at once. First Elder asked, What? The President received her marriage certificate with Lord Azura? Third Elder exclaimed, Are you for real? The President actually got married? Fu Mingxi darted over and grabbed Big Dipper by the collar. What nonsense are you spouting? That's impossible. With the president's personality, even if she liked Lord Azura, she absolutely wouldn't get married to him. Big Dipper shrugged. There's no use shouting at me. You'll see when you look at Sis Feng's friend circle. Of course, I personally advise you not to look at it. There was no way Fu Mingxi wouldn't look. He pulled out his phone and clicked open Yuanwan's friend circle and instantly saw Yuanwan's PDA-filled status. The attached photos were a photo of the bright red marriage certificate and a selfie of the couple. In the photo, Lord Azura's stunningly bewitching face didn't need additional mentioning, and a bright and beautiful smile was spread across their own president's face. Fu Mingxi had always known his president was beautiful, but this was his first time realizing she could be this beautiful. That smile was warm and brilliant, as though she was an angel whose wings were spread behind her. When Fu Mingxi managed to finally pull away from the photo, he noticed the description that his president wrote, "I've traveled to many places and seen many sights, but no matter how far mountains and rivers stretch or how much flowers bloom like a piece of brocade, they aren't as good-looking as you." Big Dipper saw Fu Mingxi's face draining of color and his figure swayed as if about to fall. He exasperatedly said, "I told you to not look at it. Who can tolerate this PDA-filled dog food? I want to die from how stuffed I feel." Fu Mingxi tightly clutched his phone. Impossible. This is impossible. The president clearly said her wish was, the starry universe. Big Dipper reflexively finished for the other man. Fu Mingxi glared at him. It's a harem of 3,000. That does sound like something our Sis Feng would say, Big Dipper mumbled. First Elder and Third Elder also nodded in agreement. First Elder mused, "As I said, Sir Lord Azura is very good." Third Elder also added, "Exactly. He was actually crafty enough to make our president abandon her harem of 3,000 and willingly jump into the grave of marriage." As Fu Mingxi listened to their discussion, his face turned livid. Big Dipper clapped Fu Mingxi on the shoulder and comforted him. "Ah, Xiao Ming, you should give up. Don't tell me you don't understand what Sis Feng meant by posting those words." Fu Mingxi's face was chilly. What did she mean? Big Dipper murmured, "No matter how far mountains and rivers stretch or how much flowers bloom like a piece of brocade, they aren't as good-looking as you." Isn't that the same as saying wildflowers aren't as fragrant as her flower at home? Sis Feng is clearly telling you she currently only likes this one flower she has at home and all the flowers outside don't enter her sight. Fu Mingxi was dumbfounded for a moment before bursting into tears and he sobbed, unwilling to give up so easily. But wait, the president posted a marriage certificate from China, not the independent state. That's right, a marriage certificate from China doesn't mean anything. As soon as Fu Mingxi said that, he saw Big Dipper refreshing the page with his finger and said, "Oh my, Sis Feng posted a second identical status. Oh wait, there's a third photo this time. That looks like a marriage certificate from the independent state." Fu Mingxi. Chapter 2447 Yuanwan allowed everyone to see her first friend circle update but limited the second status to only her friends from the independent state. After posting this, Si Yihan also followed her lead and posted 2 updates cooperatively. His photos were identical to what Yuanwan posted, but the description he posted was, "You're the flowers, you're the rivers, you're the mountains, you're my whole world." If Yuanwan's affectionate words sent people's teeth aching from the sweetness, then Si Yihan's post almost sent people's eyes popping out from shock. Others didn't dare to say anything, but Jiang Lihan directly left a comment on his post and complained, "Shit. My wretched eyes. What kind of sin did I commit to have to see this post?" His words echoed everyone's opinion. Xie Qianchuan looked surprised. "I didn't expect them to really get married." Jiang Lihan pursed his lips. "They're planning to get married in China? I absolutely won't go." "I'm not sure," Xie Qianchuan replied. As the duo spoke, they were pulled into a group chat almost simultaneously. The person who added them was Yuanwan, but they weren't the only ones pulled into the group chat. There were also many leaders and members of various groups and factions in the independent state. After adding everyone, Yuan at everyone and specially notated all of her aliases. After all the different commotions she caused in the independent state, she basically exposed all of her aliases and didn't need to be secretive about them. She also didn't need to conceal her identities over in China. Hence, Yuan's current name was Yuan plus Yi by Feng plus Worryless Nya plus Yi Yunma. Yuan plus Yi by Feng plus Worryless Nya plus Yi Yunma. My baby and I are getting married this month. Come to China to attend the wedding banquet, everyone. Remember to give me your gift money. It's fine if you don't have cash, you can transfer some to me too. Jiang Lihan, Xie Qianchuan, Shen Tianchen, Yuan's eye-grabbing nickname was seriously too flabbergasting. And her mention of gift money also rendered people speechless. For a moment, all the leaders in the group didn't know where to start bitching, causing the chat to descend into a strange silence. In the end, it was still Jiang Lihan who spoke first. Jiang Lihan, damn, your wedding is so far away. Who'd have the time to run all the way over there? Wouldn't they be spending money to ask for torture? Jiang Lihan's words echoed everyone's thoughts again. Yuan plus Yi by Feng plus Worryless Nya plus Yi Yunma, oh, that's fine too. If it's not convenient for you guys to come, I can just hold 12 weddings in the independent state. My baby and I can hold a wedding with every single one of our identities. Let me count, 12 weddings might not be enough. Jiang Lihan was stunned. Damn, are you freaking kidding me? I've only heard of concert tours. This is my first time hearing about a wedding tour. Si Yihan, why don't you control your wife? Si Yihan, 12 weddings isn't suitable. Jiang Lihan, si. You're delusional. Si Yihan, we can round it to a whole number. Jiang Lihan, whole number. Si Yihan, 100 weddings. All the leaders. Jiang Lihan, are you freaking trying to get rich from your weddings and overtake the Shen family? Yuan plus Yi by Feng plus Worryless Nya plus Yi Yunma, wow, baby, you're too clever. Why didn't I think of such a good way to make money? Jiang Lihan. Chapter 2448. In the end, everyone in the group obediently started saying congratulations and ardently insisting the couple didn't need to go through the trouble of holding so many weddings. They'd definitely go to China to attend their wedding and bring their gift money. What followed was a myriad of preparations for the wedding. Yuan was being given away from the Golden Seas mansion in China. She ordered 2 wedding outfits for the day of the wedding, a red qipao and a white wedding dress. Her bridesmaids were Jiang Yanran, Autumn Water, Hai Tang, and Medusa, while the groomsmen were Lin Ke, Jiang Lihan, Xie Qianchuan, and Xie Zhizhi. At Golden Seas, at first light, the bridesmaids accompanied Yuan to get dressed and have her makeup done. It wasn't long before it was time for the bride to be escorted to the wedding, and the outside of the house bustled with noise and excitement. Autumn Water turned to look outside the window. Ahem, are you sure there really won't be a problem inviting all those guys from the independent state to China, Xiaofeng? Yuan raised her brows. What problem would there be? Autumn Water exasperatedly replied, please, Xiaofeng, every single one of those guys have such great martial strength and can overturn the world in China. You've placed so many of them together, who could suppress them if they started making a scene? Yuan mumbled, they probably won't, right? Hai Tang chuckled. I'm afraid it won't be so easy for Lord Azura to walk through the door today. Medusa winked and teased, my little junior sister isn't so easy to marry, so this is just a type of test. Oh right, isn't there also a custom of hiding the bride's shoes in China? Jiang Yanran hastily said, that's right, that's right. I was just wondering what would be a good place to hide them. Hai Tang mischievously suggested, I have an idea. I guarantee the groom and his men absolutely won't find it. I've done my homework. Jiang Yanran asked curiously, where are you putting it? Hai Tang pulled her skirt to the side. I'm tying it to my thigh. Who will freaking find it now? Autumn Water broke into guffaws. Ha 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 ha, you're too cunning. Give me the other one. I'll tie it to myself. Jiang Yanran was amazed from the sidelines. Who will freaking find that? Yi Wanwan glowered at her own bridesmaids. Tell me the truth. Do you two not want me to get married at all? At the same time, outside the mansion's gates, Si Yihan's escort motorcade had arrived. Si Yihan wore a custom-made, haute couture suit with a groom's boutonniere attached to his lapel. The door opened and his slender leg stretched out of the car. The second he stepped out and appeared in front of the gates, the people crowded there reflexively gasped. Fuck. Aren't Lord Azura's looks a bit heaven-defying today? He's seriously, stunningly captivating, TSK, no wonder our president is under tight reins. Hey, quiet. Don't forget our job. That's right. We have an important mission today. And so, a group of people decisively blocked the front gates. Next to Si Yihan, Lin Kei saw the dense group and gulped. Ninth brother, why do I suddenly have an ominous feeling? The reality proved that Lin Kei's premonition was fairly accurate. After Si Yihan led his groomsmen out of the cars, what they faced was, Yi Mufan, you'll have to pass me before you can marry my sister. Gong Su aggressively led Luo Chen, Han Xianyu, Fei Yang, Chu Feng, and the others. You'll have to pass us before you can marry my brother Yi. Big Dipper led second elder, Fu Mingxi, first elder, second elder, third elder, and company, you'll have to pass us before you can marry our president. Shen Tianchen led a group of mercenary experts he hired. You'll have to defeat my people before you can marry my goddess Worryless. Yi Lingjun smiled faintly. Sigh, I only have one precious daughter, after all, so you'll have to undergo some tests before you can marry my daughter. Si Yihan, Xie Zhizhi looked at Si Yihan's gradually darkening face and chuckled aloud. Ajo, doesn't your wife have a few too many identities? Jiang Lihan's lips twitched. Just a few too many. It's probably 100 times more difficult for him to get married this time compared to other people. I must have committed some wretched sin to have agreed to be your groomsman. Xie Qianchuan sighed. What should we do now? They have the advantage in numbers, I don't think we can defeat them. Chapter 2449. Inside the house, Yi Wanwan, who was secretly watching through the slit in the door, was stupefied. Damn! Are they for real? They're freaking trying to make trouble. She never ever expected that having so many aliases would lead to such a wretched situation. Si Yihan's face was devoid of any expression as he looked at the mass of people in front of him. Ninth brother. This is too. I don't think they plan to allow you and ninth sister to get married at all. Lin Kei grumbled. Who could resist this? Does that mean I don't have to give my gift money? Jiang Lihan chuckled. As soon as Jiang Lihan said that, he felt Si Yihan's unfriendly gaze on him. Jiang Lihan laughed awkwardly. I'm just joking. I'll definitely give my gift money. Say, the top priority right now is to think about how we should properly protect the groom and escort him inside. Lin Kei said to the other groomsmen. Escort him inside, how? There are so many people guarding the door. It looks pretty hard. If we really can't, we'll fight our way inside. You go. We'll cheer for you back here. While Si Yihan and his group were blocked, a person suddenly walked out of the house. Nameless Nya passed through all the people blocking the gates and stopped next to Si Yihan. You'll have to pass me before you can stop my brother-in-law today. When everyone saw Nameless Nya actually joining Si Yihan's side, their eyes shot open. Damn! Nameless Nya. What is he doing? Shen Tianchen protested, Hey, Nameless Nya, isn't there something off here? You're part of the bride's family. You should be standing on the bride's side. Si Yihan nodded at the newcomer and greeted him, eldest brother. A jubilant grin spread across Nameless Nya's face upon hearing that. Don't worry, brother-in-law. No one can stop you with me here today. Lin Kei, Xie Zhizhi, Jiang Lihan, and Xie Qianchuan, no wonder you were so calm. You had a contingency plan. Lin K clicked his tongue. You're impressive, ninth brother. The guards at the door instantly became chagrined when they heard nameless Nye. They couldn't stop them. The mere groom and groomsmen weren't enough to even be an appetizer, all right? Fine. Just try if you're so capable. If we allow you to enter that easily, I'll write my name backward. Yi Mufan snorted. That's right. It won't be so easy for you to enter. Big Dipper agreed. Don't even think about entering. On Si Yihan's side, Lin K was instantly riled up. I have a hot temper. Do you think you're so scary because you have a lot of people? Let's fight then. I refuse to believe we can't escort the groom inside. Nameless Nye glanced at Lin Quebec. Why do we need to fight for no reason? Lin K was dumbfounded. How would we enter other than fighting? Do you think they'd let us through that easily? You're delusional, Nameless Nye sighed softly. Have you heard of a saying? What saying? Lin K reflexively replied. Nameless Nye didn't answer Lin K and marched forward instead. His expression was grave as he reached inside his jacket. What's he doing? He isn't pulling out a gun, right? That's going too far, Lin K jolted in fright. Nameless Nye was acting like he was about to fight to the death with someone. Nameless Nye stopped in front of Yi Mufan, Big Dipper, and the others, his eyes sweeping over the people. Then, in front of everyone, Nameless Nye pulled out a stack of red envelopes and smiled faintly. Everyone, please extend me a courtesy. Chapter 2450. Big Dipper opened the red envelopes. When he saw the $5 and $2 notes, the corner of his lips twitched. Gong Su's expression also contorted while Yi Mufan was dumbfounded. Wasn't he looking down on them too freaking much? Out of all these red envelopes, the largest amount was a $5 bill while the smallest amount was a $1 bill. Plus, $1 bills filled at least 90% of the red envelopes. There were so many red envelopes, but the amount probably didn't even add up to $200 when you combined them. Are you serious? Yi Mufan subconsciously blurted out as he clutched the $1 bill in his hand. Consider this money as my admission fee. Extend us a courtesy, Nameless Nye genially said. Extend a courtesy your ass. At least show some sincerity. It doesn't have to be a lot, but at least put $100 in each red envelope. You put $1 inside yet you want us to show you some courtesy. Yi Mufan felt a fire burning in his chest. Was he really Wanwan's freaking biological brother? 100. Nameless Nye furrowed her brows. If each red envelope had $100, how much money would I need to fill so many red envelopes? It'd be quicker if you went and robbed someone. Lin K, Jiang Lihan, Si Yihan, everyone, damn. SpongeBob SquarePants. What's SpongeBob SquarePants? Big Dipper dumbfoundedly turned to a spot behind the groomsmen. There was really a giant SpongeBob SquarePants walking toward them. Huh? Lin K stared at the SpongeBob SquarePants that had reached him. What the heck was this? Who are you? Jiang Lihan inquired curiously. Why would someone wear a SpongeBob SquarePants costume and come to this place? Me. An apathetic voice was heard from inside the SpongeBob SquarePants costume. When Lin K heard this extremely distinctive voice, he shuddered. This was piece of shit's voice. Brother E, why did you show up here in this outfit? Jiang Lihan couldn't understand why the other man was wearing this. I went to the wedding location, Shui Han replied. But the wedding hasn't started yet, right? Lin K's lips twitched. I went early, Shui Han said. In other words, you went to the wrong location, right? Shui Han answered. Everyone, Yuan Wan and Si Yihan's wedding was taking place at an animation-themed park, which they had reserved completely. Every wedding guest had to wear a cartoon-themed costume to enter. It appeared Shui Han mistook the time, went to the wedding venue early and wore this costume. Why didn't you take it off? Jiang Lihan asked. SpongeBob SquarePants contemplated for a moment before replying, troublesome. Jiang Lihan, it was rather troublesome. Lil shit, you came here at the perfect time. Hurry up and take care of these people. They won't let us enter, Nameless Nya shouted at SpongeBob SquarePants. You think a mere SpongeBob SquarePants will be enough? Even if it's Yi Shui Han, we aren't afraid of him in such a giant costume. Why are you looking at me? I dare you to fight us in that costume. Big Dipper mocked. Immediately, First Elder, Third Elder, 7 Star, and the other people tacitly took a step back and ostracized Big Dipper completely. Big Dipper, calm down, all of you. Isn't that enough? I'll bite whoever dares to stop my wedding today to death. At this moment, Yi Wanwan charged outside in her wedding dress while holding her skirt up. Damn. Since when did brides come dashing out themselves? Yi Mufan was dumbstruck. This didn't match the storyline. Sigh, no matter how difficult the test is, it can't withstand a vehement wish to marry. Yi Lingjun shook his head. Chapter 2451. The girl bounded toward him like a ball of sun, illuminating the entire world in his eyes. Si Yihan's eyes were brimming with a gentle warmth, but when his gaze landed on her bare feet, his brows furrowed. Why aren't you wearing shoes? He hastily leaned over and picked up the girl. Closely following behind Yi Wanwan were Hai Tang and Autumn Water's panting voices as each carried a shoe. Autumn Water, shit. How could you run out here like this? What kind of bride acts like this? Hai Tang, why can't you follow the formula? If I followed the formula, would I still get married? Do you know how difficult it was for me to be able to get married to my baby? Yi Wanwan was being carried in Si Yihan's arms, but she didn't forget to relay her commands. Why are you standing there? Make way. Yes. Yes. Sis Feng, Big Dipper hastily scrambled to lay out the red carpet. Gong Su cowered as soon as he saw Yi Wanwan and also miserably carried the flower basket and scattered rose petals for her. Shen Tianchen and his mercenaries also feebly shrunk to the back. In the end, due to direct interference from the bride, Si Yihan successfully entered the house. After carrying out ceremonial components of the wedding, everyone headed to the wedding venue. There's someone else getting married inside today, SpongeBob SquarePants, Shuehan said. What? Didn't we book the whole venue? Yi Mufan was surprised. I don't know, Shuehan replied. When they reached the theme park, the reception staff hastily came out. What's going on? Didn't we book the whole venue? There's someone else getting married inside? Gong Su was very unhappy. The manager was soaked with sweat. He was well aware of this group's background, and they did reserve the whole park. However, they had no choice. There was also another fearsome figure getting married today, and their background was also powerful. The staff didn't dare to provoke either of them. Sorry, I'm truly sorry, but we had no choice. How about this, all fees will be on the house today. Can you please compromise a little, the manager asked. On the house. Do you think I don't have that money? Yi Mufan was instantly enraged. This wasn't a matter of money. Can I ask how much the fees will be? Nameless Nya instantly asked. After learning the amount, Nameless Nya looked at Yi Mufan and the others. It's such a large venue. There's enough room for 20 couples to get married, so why are you acting so unreasonable? Yi Mufan, so it's my fault, huh? Return the money to my account later. Does that work? Nameless Nya suggested to the manager in good humor. Yes, yes, yes. That's not a problem at all. The manager nodded vehemently. Hurry and enter the park. Nameless Nya waved his hand and acted like a leader. Everyone could only follow Nameless Nya inside the wedding venue and changed into the stuffed costumes waiting for them. Originally, there would have been enough costumes, but since there was another group using some, there weren't enough costumes remaining. Yi Wanwan's eyes turned. She didn't forcefully demand the other guests to wear costumes but made everyone from the independent state change into the stuffed costumes so that they wouldn't cause any trouble at the wedding venue. They could at least get a break with the costumes on. Tut tut, she was seriously too clever. This was the best method to seal someone's martial strength. Yi Wanwan herself changed into a Little Red Riding Hood outfit while Si Yihan was outfitted as the big bad wolf. And so, a majestic parade of dolls entered the castle. Chapter 2452. However, as soon as everyone entered the castle, they were dumbfounded. It was packed with people and a couple appeared to be getting married inside. The groom was a Garfield, while the bride was an extremely beautiful girl dressed as a princess. Aside from the Garfield groom and princess bride, the other wedding guests were all wearing costumes. There was Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, as well as some weird unrecognizable characters. Huh, SpongeBob SquarePants? It's you again. Are you here to cause trouble again? Donald Duck stared at SpongeBob SquarePants, Yi Shuai-han, and broke into shouts. Yi Wanwan was dumbfounded. What happened? Earlier. Yi Shuai-han remembered the time wrong and came here first. I'm guessing he caused havoc at their wedding, Lin Kei said as he slid to Yi Wanwan's side. Yi Wanwan face-bombed. What kind of sin did she commit? If she'd known, she shouldn't have asked Tang Tang to invite him. But it's not our fault. We reserved this park ahead of time, but they insisted on cramming in here too, Briar, 1, Jiang Lihan said. We reserved this place. So we're already nice for not beating you up when you shamelessly stuffed your way inside. Bramble, 2, Big Dipper ridiculed them. What? Beat us up? The Garfield groom snorted. What? You're unhappy. You better stifle it even if you're unhappy. If there wasn't a wedding today, I would have killed you with a punch, shouted Bramble. Yi Wanwan was exasperated. While that was true, they didn't pay a single cent. Didn't the manager already say that? They were going to return the money to Nameless Nya, so right now, they were actually using the other group's venue. Humph. Today was originally going to be a good day, but this is so irritating. The Garfield groom had just said that when everyone shockingly watched Garfield stop in front of Bramble extremely fast and kick Big Dipper, not giving the other man any time to react. That's to teach you a lesson, Garfield said. Misunderstanding, it's all a misunderstanding, Yi Wanwan quickly said. Today's my big day, alright? Can't they take a break? They were dressed like this already but still insisted on fighting. I remember you. Didn't we meet at KFC? Garfield asked, turning to Yi Wanwan. Yi Wanwan was startled. When she first came to China with Big Dipper, 7 Star, and Third Elder, they did go eat at KFC once. Yi Wanwan suddenly remembered that man who was absurdly powerful and more beautiful than a woman. She also vaguely remembered the man had a girl with him and the girl called him God or something like that. You freaking dare to hit me? I'm gonna kill you. Bramble Big Dipper immediately dashed toward Garfield and swung a punch at him. However, a second later, Bramble was struck back by Garfield with a single move again. Why are you standing around? Help me hit him. Bramble Big Dipper screamed. Upon hearing that, all the Fearless Alliance experts charged toward Garfield in their cartoon costumes. What surprised Yi Wanwan was that the Fearless Alliance experts, including the elders, couldn't even get near Garfield and were all sent flying back a few seconds later. How could this man be so powerful? All these people were experts from the Fearless Alliance, yet they turned into soggy pieces of paper in front of him. SpongeBob SquarePants. Get your ass over here and accept your death. Garfield hooked his pointer finger towards SpongeBob SquarePants' Yi Shuai-han. 1. Briar is the first bear brother from the animation Boonie Bears. 2. Bramble is the second bear brother from the animation Boonie Bears. Chapter 2453, You're provoking piece of shit. Everyone couldn't help but laugh in ridicule. This person was probably suicidal. SpongeBob SquarePants immediately walked forward. All the guests watched as Garfield and SpongeBob SquarePants got entangled together. From Garfield's side, Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse, and some others all started fighting with Big Dipper, Jiang Lihan, and the others. The scene was rather ugly as a myriad of experts in cartoon costumes had started brawling with each other in utter disarray. Some experts accidentally tumbled to the ground and continued to attack their opponents while rolling around. Yi Wanwan didn't know whether to cry or laugh as she watched this. Bam! A giant noise sent Yi Wanwan reeling back to reality. Yi Wanwan watched incredulously as SpongeBob SquarePants Yi Shuehan was forced to retreat several steps. This was the first time in Yi Wanwan's life that she saw Yi Shuehan ending up disadvantaged. Lil shit, you aren't doing so hot. Patrick Star Nameless Nya pointed at Yi Shuehan and laughed. Ha, as if you're doing any better. Garfield glanced at Patrick Star and swung his soft and fluffy cat paw toward Patrick Star. Are you bullying me for not having any hands? Nameless Nya seemed to also be riled up after being forced several steps back too. Yi Wanwan stared closer. It was exactly as he said. The Patrick Star costume really didn't have any hands. He was just a pink starfish. I'll beat you to death. Patrick Star mercilessly headed toward Garfield headfirst. However, Garfield caught Patrick Star's head. Seeing this, SpongeBob SquarePants dashed forward and barreled Garfield several steps back. Soon, SpongeBob SquarePants Yi Shuehan, Patrick Star Nameless Nya, and the Garfield groom rolled into a chaotic scuffle. Damn it. Lil shit, you hit me. I couldn't see, SpongeBob SquarePants Yi Shuehan said. Hit that Garfield's head. Why are you hitting my head? He has a big head, and I have a small head. Are you blind? Huh. I'm too fat, Garfield said. I don't have hands. Patrick Star Nameless Nya said. I couldn't see well, SpongeBob SquarePants Yi Shuehan said. Nameless Nya, Yi Shuehan, and Garfield tussled for ages. One would hit the other's chest and their crotch would be struck in return, resulting in no outcome even after all the fighting. Instead, it was Bramble Big Dipper and Donald Duck's fight that intensified. Eldest senior brother. Come and help me. This brat has a lot of helpers. Donald Duck shouted at Mickey Mouse. I'm wearing glasses, so it's not convenient. Mickey Mouse heartlessly rejected Donald Duck. Eldest senior brother, second senior brother. Damn it, stop fighting. Today's a joyful day, a Pikachu shouted. The speaking Pikachu was a girl and she had an incredibly melodious voice. Little junior sister, Thunderbolt. Electrocute this damn bear for me. Donald Duck shouted. Pikachu yelled, do you really freaking think I can release 100,000 volts? All the dolls present, the dolls from the independent state never expected to witness someone this martially strong in China, especially that Garfield. His strength couldn't be described. SpongeBob SquarePants and Patrick Star actually had to team up on him. Chapter 2454, Mommy, I'm scared. Briar's head was knocked off by Donald Duck. Shortly after, a mini version of Pikachu timidly spoke as it grabbed the bigger Pikachu's tail. As soon as Pikachu saw the scared mini Pikachu, she was infuriated. Pikachu patted the little Pikachu on the head before sinking her energy into her dantian and furiously roaring at Garfield. Stop fighting. If you keep fighting, you don't have to bother getting married. Garfield froze. Instantly, SpongeBob SquarePants grabbed him by the ear and Patrick Star grabbed his nose. I want to get married today. I don't want to fight. What are you all doing? Garfield demanded. My younger sister is getting married. Patrick Star Nameless Nya answered. My disciple's mom is getting married, SpongeBob SquarePants Yi Shuehan replied. A person, who was actually wearing a bok choy costume, walked over to the big and small Pikachu and shouted, it's all a misunderstanding. Everyone, please stop fighting. Enough. Stop fighting. Yi Wanwan also yelled exasperatedly. Everyone had no choice but to stop at once. You damn bear, Donald Duck cursed at Bramble. You damn duck. Bramble Big Dipper also retorted, not to be outdone. Donald Duck, duck. That sounded weird. Why did he feel like he was the one worse off? After everyone stopped, Yi Wanwan finally learned the entire story of the matter. It turned out Yi Shuihan went to the wrong location and thought the princess bride was her while Garfield was Si Yihan. Then, not only did he leech food and drinks from them, but he also wrecked their almost concluded wedding and messed up the process, so the other group had to restart. Sorry. We're really sorry. We originally reserved the whole venue, so SpongeBob SquarePants thought we were the only group here. Hai Tang apologized to Pikachu. It's fine. It's all a misunderstanding, and we were also in the wrong. Hurry on then. Don't delay yourselves, Pikachu said. Humph. Handless one and blind one, don't let me see you again. Garfield shouted. The handless nameless Nya, damn fatso, don't let me see you again. I'm going to hit you every time I see you. The blind Yi Shuihan, After this all-out costume brawl ridiculousness concluded, everyone finally returned to their respective themed castle. As soon as Yi Wanwan's group entered their castle, stimulating music started to blast out. I walked by myself in the countryside. I'm bringing some sweets for my grandma to taste. She lives somewhere far and remote, so I have to worry if there's a big bad wolf nearby. When the sun sets over the mountains, I have to hurry home and step into dreamland with my mom. I walked by myself in the countryside. I'm bringing some sweets for my grandma to taste. She lives somewhere far and remote, so I have to worry if there's a big bad wolf nearby. Shit, rock and roll version of Little Red Riding Hood? Lin K was stunned. Why does it sound so demonic? Frigging awesome, Big Dipper gave a thumbs up. How could Sis Feng's version of Little Red Riding Hood not be demonic? She's probably a Little Red Riding Hood who carries a backsword on her shoulder while riding a motorcycle and chugging liquor. This was a freaking staggering opening. It's actually nothing. Didn't you hear it? That Garfield is playing KFC's theme song at his wedding. Everyone, Daddy, Mommy, I wish you a joyous marriage and eternal bliss, a small gray wolf doll said in a childish voice after walking over to Yi Wanwan and Si Yihan. Yi Wanwan patted the small gray wolf on the head and hugged him. Thank you, baby. Mommy loves you to death. Chapter 2455, From now on, Tang Tang can proudly say he attended his dad and his mom's wedding. Yi Mufan chuckled mischievously. After saying that, Yi Mufan wanted to cry. If he dared to have a child before marrying, his parents would have broken his legs eons ago. However, when they learned Wanwan's child was so old already, not only did they not shout at her, but they even cried from delight and celebrated joyously. Soon, the rock and roll version of Little Red Riding Hood finished and the solemn wedding march started playing. Yi Wanwan and Si Yihan, who had switched into a wedding dress and suit respectively, also walked up onto the stage hand in hand and received congratulations all around. When the wedding ceremony was about to conclude, Hai Tang walked toward Yi Wanwan. Worryless. It's time for me to give you an item. Yi Wanwan was startled. What item? Hai Tang pulled out a USB and handed it to Yi Wanwan. Your marriage still needs congratulations from one person. Who? Yi Wanwan asked. Ji Shiran, Hai Tang replied. Ji Shiran, Yi Wanwan murmured. That man still hadn't appeared to this day. Yi Wanwan immediately met Si Yihan's eyes. Si Yihan patted her hair and plugged the USB in. Under everyone's watch, the giant screen lit up. The man appeared to be located inside a warehouse. He was wearing a white shirt with an incredibly familiar and warm smile hanging on his face. A mere glance was all it took for Yi Wanwan to recognize the setting as the island that once imprisoned everyone. Sister Wanwan, hello. When Yi Wanwan heard Ji Shiran's form of address for her, she was startled. Ji Shiran had always called her worryless, so why did he call her Wanwan here? Perhaps because he expected she'd hold her wedding in China, right? Yi Wanwan kept listening. Ji Shiran's lips turned up. If I guessed correctly, you're probably getting married today, right? After saying that, the man faced the camera but remained silent for a long time. Congratulations on finding your true home. I believe that your other half can guard and protect you for the rest of your life, the man continued with a smile a moment later. I'm very sorry and regretful I might not be able to personally attend your wedding. But thankfully, there's equipment here that can allow me to leave behind a token to express my congratulations to you. You don't need to worry about me. In truth, I've liked someone for a while. I originally wanted to let her live her life without worries, but unfortunately, I shouldered too many burdens. I couldn't fulfill my promise to her in the first half of my life, but I've decided that I will return to her side in the second half of my life and will never leave or abandon her until death strips me away. The current me has probably left the independent state to be with her. She likes ordinariness and placidness, free from the conflicts of the world. This is also the life I wish for. See Yihan, some things are hard-earned. I hope you can treasure it well. If you dare to let down my sister one day, I'll turn you into ashes. Wan, remember, you must smile no matter what the future holds. Farewell. Below the stage, Haitang sighed softly. In the end, Ji Shuran still wasn't able to let go of his final conviction. Otherwise, why would he call her Wan instead of Worryless in his congratulatory video? He still couldn't call someone else's bride Worryless. Main story end. Chapter 2456, Memory Volume. The northern part of the independent state was nearly devoid of human life. Standing at a spot was a youth in a snow-white shirt whose long, ink-like hair casually draped to his waist. He resembled a celestial being that belonged in a painting. Young master, there's news from the southern battlefield. A teenager strode toward the youth. There wasn't a ripple in the youth's eyes and there was an almost imperceptible smile hanging from his lips. The Ji family achieved an overwhelming victory. On the southern battlefield, the teenager's face was brimming with astonishment as he looked at the youth. He utterly couldn't imagine how this youth in front of him could command an army and concoct all kinds of brilliant strategies, playing and spinning both of the Ji family's strong enemy factions in circles. The final stroke of dissension he sowed was practically perfect. If it weren't for this youth, the Ji family's battles would have probably lasted at least 2 more years. This youth was the eldest son of the independent state's Ji family. His name was Ji Shuran. When the teenager was Ji Shuran's age, he was still wet behind the ears and ignorant about the world's affairs. However, Ji Shuran was exceptional. He possessed an extremely high intellect and profound shrewdness. His martial technique and strategic capabilities had achieved the pinnacle of perfection already. The youth in front of the teenager was close to being a god. Young master, how should we take care of the Zhou family's eldest son? The youth turned around and surveyed the giant box sitting in the back of the car for a moment. Kill him, Ji Shuran ordered aloofly. The teenager was startled. The Ji family had 2 mortal enemies, the Zhou family and the Tong family. Right now, the contents of the box was the eldest son of the Zhou family, whom Ji Shuran had just captured. Although the Ji family had won on the southern battlefields, if they killed the Zhou family's eldest son right now, the Ji family would probably receive ferocious retaliation from the Zhou family. At that point, the Tong family would reap the spoils without doing anything and the gains wouldn't make up for the Ji family's losses. Young master, are we really killing him? The teenager asked hesitantly. Ji Shuran was expressionless. I hired the Tong family's mercenaries with Aming's identity to help me escort this item. The route heads northwest. The Tong family mercenaries won't suspect anything. What do you mean, young master? The teenager was confused. Having been defeated this time, the Zhou family will naturally send a large number of scouts into the northwest front. If the Zhou family discovers their dead eldest son amongst the Tong family's mercenary team, what would happen? The youth replied calmly. The teenager shivered immediately. The Zhou family and the Tong family would fight until one perished. Even if the Tong family wanted to explain, with a seed of doubt planted by Ji Xiuran, the Zhou family wouldn't believe the Tong family, they would only believe that it was the Tong family who killed their eldest son. Moreover, the Ji family had supposedly been preoccupied on the southern battlefield and didn't have the time to attack the Zhou family's eldest son. Ah Ming. Ji Xiuran turned to a middle-aged man. Stay here and hand this box to the Tong mercenaries and follow behind. Remember, you need to intentionally be detected by the Zhou family's scouts. When the time is right, you can leave, Ji Xiuran said. Understood, the middle-aged man agreed. The teenager finally understood his young master's purpose. This Ah Ming was a steward of the Tong family who was bribed by Ji Xiuran. Earlier, the teenager was still wondering why Ji Xiuran bribed someone from the Tong family. Ah Ming didn't have any status in the Tong family and was merely an ordinary steward. In the teenager's eyes, there was no need to bribe someone like him. The teenager handled the still unconscious eldest son of the Zhou family inside the box with ease before leaving Ah Ming and the box behind. He then followed Ji Xiuran and left. Young master, that's brilliant. Halfway there, the teenager gave Ji Xiuran a thumbs up. Ah Ming is a junior steward in the Tong family and isn't connected to the mercenary business in any way. If he's discovered by the Zhou family's spies, the Tong family won't be able to explain themselves. Chapter 2457 Ji Xiuran had two objectives for bribing Ah Ming. He employed mercenaries from the Tong family side branch using the identity of a steward from the Tong family's main branch, which lowered the guard of the Tong mercenaries. Then, the Tong mercenaries wouldn't be suspicious or intentionally open the box to check it. Young master, I didn't expect everything to be accounted for within your plan. This way, the Tong family will fight to the death with the Zhou family, and the Ji family won't be threatened by these two families anymore. Just when did you make these preparations? The teenager was brimming with admiration as he stared at the handsome youth. While you were sleeping, Ji Xiuran answered aloofly. The teenager released an embarrassed chuckle before asking, but what if Ah Ming betrays us, young master? What would we do? Ji Xiuran softly replied, his whole family is in my possession. Brilliant. The teenager gave a thumbs up. The Zhou family and the Tong family have acted abominably and committed all kinds of evil deeds. Those two bastard families really thought they were invincible and dared to offend our Ji family. Evil people truly have other evil people tormenting them. It wasn't until Ji Xiuran shot him a glance that the teenager realized his words were remiss and he looked embarrassed. Before the teenager could explain, a girl's blood-curdling scream was heard in the distance. The teenager furrowed his brows and reflexively turned to the origin of the sound. A girl in a leisurely outfit was sent crashing to the ground, but her grip around her dagger remained tight. Next to the girl was a man dressed like a mercenary. Whose child are you? You look 11 or 12 at most, but why would you come asking for death for a mercenary fee? The mercenary apathetically stared at the girl he knocked to the ground. Tell me who sent you here and I can spare your life. Young master, it looks like a bounty defected mercenary, the teenager reported to Ji Xiuran. These defected mercenaries were very common in the independent state. Most of them had committed some terrible deed then defected from their group, so their group would offer a bounty on their heads. Ha, how old is that girl? She looks only 11 or 12, no? But she actually dared to seek trouble from a defected mercenary. How suicidal. The teenager shook his head. Young master, let's hurry and leave. Young master, where are you going? The teenager hastily followed when he saw Ji Xiuran walking toward the girl. Oh. You have companions? No wonder, the defected mercenary remarked coldly with a glance at the girl when he saw a youth approaching. The girl also turned to look at the youth, confusion surfacing in her eyes. She didn't know this good-looking youth. Tell me, who sent you three here? Or perhaps your mind became muddled from the mercenary reward. The defected mercenary glanced at the youth, his voice glacial. However, the youth ignored him and stopped next to the girl and knelt down gracefully. His eyes, brilliant as the starry night, met the girl's eyes. Is your name Worryless? The youth adopted a gentle tone. How did you know? The girl nodded, her expression curious. 3 years ago, you and grandfather Nya visited my house. Ji Xiuran smiled and softly patted her hair. Have you forgotten? You are Brother Xiuran? The girl's eyes instantly lit up. Does it hurt? The youth touched the girl's slightly swollen cheek. No, the girl shook her head after a moment of silence. Are you three truly suicidal? A murderous intent arose in the defected mercenary when he saw the youth and girl talking in front of him as if he wasn't there. Noisy. The youth frowned and took the girl's dagger. Before the defected mercenary could realize what had happened, a cold glint flashed and the dagger pierced a fatal spot in his body as fast as an arrow leaving its dock. The next second, the defected mercenary's body dropped to the ground and stopped moving after a brief convulsion. To his death, incredulous fear was printed on his face. Chapter 2458, What a Blind Thing. The youth kicked the defected mercenary's corpse away before looking at the girl. His young master had just said this girl was Worryless Nya from the Nya family. Miss Worryless, why are you here by yourself? The youth was bemused. The girl remained silent. Ji Xiuran smiled faintly. That question was superfluous. With Worryless Grandpa's personality, he must have intentionally ordered Worryless to come here to train her mental strength. Speaking of which, Worryless Grandpa must be nearby, and he would have immediately shown up if Worryless was really in any danger. Let's go, Ji Xiuran said to the girl with a gentle smile. However, a blush dusted over the girl's cheeks, and she wouldn't get up. From the corner of his eyes, Ji Xiuran discovered that she was wearing only one shoe. The other shoe was probably lost in the scuffle. I lost my shoe, the girl finally replied a long while later, her cheeks red. It's fine. Come, Miss Worryless, I'll carry you, the youth offered. However, the girl still didn't move. Come up, Ji Xiuran said softly as he knelt down. The girl's blush deepened immediately, but she wrapped her arms around the youth's neck and was carried on his back. Brother Xiuran, where are we going? The girl asked. I'm taking you home, Ji Xiuran replied with a faint smile. Okay. The girl nodded. After walking a moment, the trio stopped to rest next to a stream. Ji Xiuran sat down next to the stream and used the water to wash his hands before asking the girl, Are you hungry? A little, the girl answered. Ji Xiuran turned to the teenager next to him. But young master, this is your lunch, Ji anxiously protested. Ji Xiuran wrinkled his brows. Ji jolted in fright and could only hand Ji Xiuran's lunch to the girl. It contained taro as well as some vacuum-sealed cooked beef. Ji Xiuran picked up the taro and peeled off the skin before handing it to her. Brother Xiuran, you eat. The girl drooled as she stared at the taro. Ji Xiuran smiled at her expression and patted her on the head. It's fine, I'm not hungry. You eat it all. Don't waste it. How can you not be hungry? You haven't eaten all day, Ji quietly grumbled not too far away. When the girl was done eating, Ji Xiuran bent down and carried her on his back again. The trio disappeared into the distance. Whenever Worryless Nya thought about the day she officially met Ji Xiuran, she couldn't help but get lost in her thoughts. At the courtyard in the Ji estate's back hill, many years later, the youth and the girl became a thing of the past. Worryless Nya stared at the intently reading Ji Xiuran and pursed her lips. Great sage. You're here. Ji Xiuran was snapped out of his concentrated state and set down the book, turning to Worryless Nya with a smile. Damn, it's a classic. Are you really trying to be a sage? Worryless Nya teased. Ji Xiuran didn't get angry and merely chuckled. I have nothing to do, so I can only admire the ancients' wisdom. Worryless Nya approached Ji Xiuran. Who doesn't know our brother Xiuran's strategic expertise is beyond description? I'm afraid the ancients' wisdom will soon fall behind you, brother Xiuran. Worryless, I heard you recently created a group called the Fearless Alliance. A warm smile hung on Ji Shuran's lips. You know. The girl was startled. What? I'm not enough to play with you. You still need the fearless alliance. Ji Shuran leaned closer to the girl, his eyes exceptionally bewitching and soul-stealing. Chapter 24:59. Worryless Nya stared at the man's bewitching eyes, which were as vast as the galaxy. For some reason, she felt her heart starting to race and a blush creeping over her cheeks. How could this man be so good-looking? He was utterly spellbinding. Play with what? Worryless Nya hastily looked away. When Ji Shuran saw Worryless Nya's reaction, he chuckled and dotingly patted her on the head like he did when they were young. I can do anything you want. I'm hungry. Cook a meal for me, Worryless Nya said. I don't know how. Ji Shuran shook his head. Worryless Nya, but I can learn. Ji Shuran smiled at her. Follow me. Where are we going? Worryless Nya asked with intrigue. The kitchen. Ji Shuran then walked away. In the kitchen of the Ji estate, young master. When all the servants bustling around the kitchen saw Ji Shuran, they were astonished. Why did young master come to this kind of place? Miss Worryless. Everyone promptly greeted Worryless Nya as well. Are you hungry, young master? What do you want to eat? We'll prepare it immediately. Ji Shuran replied, no need. All of you can leave. Yes. They didn't know why, but no one dared to question or disobey Ji Shuran's orders. Soon, Ji Shuran and Worryless Nya were the only two people left in the enormous kitchen. After the servants retreated, Ji Shuran started searching for ingredients in the kitchen. I remember. You like to eat sweet and sour spare ribs. Ji Shuran turned to Worryless Nya. You know what I like to eat. Worryless Nya found that strange. Ji Shuran merely smiled but didn't respond. Worryless Nya watched the man bustling around the kitchen, acting completely unlike the famous demon of the Ji family who awed the people of the independent state. He was also acting unlike a man who was about to become the emperor of the entire underground dynasty and didn't have any bit of arrogance. He was akin to a boy next door who shone like the sun, both warm and comforting. In this world, as long as she had him, as long as he was here, all would be fine. From the beginning, he was the only one she wanted. Brother Shuran, you aren't really cooking, right? Worryless Nya stared at Ji Shuran. Why can't I? Ji Shuran held an apron in his hand and turned to her. But you're Ji Shuran. If you really cook for me, I'm afraid I couldn't withstand it. Worryless Nya chuckled. There's a condition, of course. Ji Shuran's smile, warm as the spring breeze, intoxicated and mesmerized the girl. What condition? She asked. Come here, Ji Shuran said. Worryless Nya automatically walked over. Help me tie it on. Ji Shuran handed the apron to Worryless Nya. But I won't help you get dressed. Worryless Nya gave him a crooked grin. If you want me to help you strip though, I can consider that. Okay. Ji Shuran wore an inscrutable smile. To the girl, this smile was devoid of all warmth, replaced by wicked seductiveness instead. The girl originally held an advantageous and offensive position, but when she saw him walking closer to her step by step, she panicked instantly, and her eyes darted everywhere. When the man approached her, he grasped her hands. Worryless Nya was fretting over what to do, but Ji Shuran simply handed the apron to her. Be good. Help me tie it on. Ha! Oh, a blush had subconsciously overtaken Worryless Nya's face. After the competition just now, she was utterly defeated and could only obediently help him tie on the apron. After much hard work, Ji Shuran handed a plate of sweet and sour spare ribs to Worryless Nya along with a bowl of rice. So delicious, eat some vegetables too. Seeing the trace of warmth in his eyes, the girl felt like she possessed the whole world. Chapter 24:60. As the man and the girl made their way from the kitchen back to the courtyard near the rear hill, the sun shone brilliantly and a breeze brushed over them, adding to the content atmosphere. Ji Shuran sat down in the courtyard and picked up a classic text again, slowly reading it. On the other hand, worryless Nya was sitting next to Ji Shuran, occasionally looking at him. Is the book that interesting? Worryless Nya asked. It can't match up to 1/10,000th of you, Ji Shuran casually responded. Before the girl could say anything else, Ji Shuran set the book down. The proceedings of the Fearless Alliance don't seem to be going smoothly. The girl was silent. Indeed, the Fearless Alliance was facing a great hurdle and had crossed some long-established major factions, so they were literally surviving in the cracks. It's nothing. Things are going rather smoothly, actually. The girl forced a smile. As long as things are going well. Ji Shuran nodded gently. After worryless Nya left, Skeleton, Ji Shuran called. A thin man appeared. Ji Shuran didn't take his eyes off of his book and kept reading as he ordered, eliminate every entity that threatens the Fearless Alliance. Withhold all mercy. Yes. Skeleton took his leave a second later. Young master, Ji looked at Ji Shuran. Our situation right now isn't optimistic either. The Tong family and the remnants of the Zhou family teamed up with the previous leader of the Underground Empire. We should avoid trouble. However, Ji Shuran didn't look up and replied detachedly, don't stick your nose where it doesn't belong. Young master. Sigh, all right. Ji Yu was exasperated. Had his young master gone mad? This next period of time was most vital for the young master. Whether he could rule the entire Underground Empire or not would depend on this. Furthermore, the Tong and Zhou families were attentively watching Ji Shuran, wanting to eliminate Ji Shuran first so the others would collapse. Yet, he was dispatching Skeleton and his group to help that ridiculous Fearless Alliance. Late at night, at the headquarters of a major faction, several higher-ups were facing off against a great enemy. These people actually managed to covertly infiltrate their headquarters and successfully avoided all detection, catching them completely off guard. Just how did they do it? Skeleton grimly stood next to a man. The man wore an overcoat and leather gloves. I heard you guys schemed and injured by Feng of the Fearless Alliance. The man, Ji Shuran, had a faint smile on his lips but it sent onlookers shivering. Skeleton looked at his master. This smile was a true sign that this man was genuinely angry, a rare occasion. By Feng? A higher-up snorted. I was wondering who you were. So you're from the Fearless Alliance. What did you think you could do by sneaking inside our headquarters? I'm telling you, we've set up an elaborate trap around this place. All of you will die. We've disabled your elaborate trap already. How else do you think we entered? Ji Yu interjected coldly. What? The expressions of several managers changed at once. What kind of joke were they playing? What should we do with them, Emperor Ji? Skeleton asked. Emperor Ji. Everyone was stunned when they discovered the identity of this man. This man was the Emperor Ji. Emperor Ji. Could it be your Ji Shuran, of the Ji family? A manager shuddered. Impossible. How could Ji Shuran have any connection to the Fearless Alliance and that by Feng? That was absolutely impossible. Who was Ji Shuran? Although he rarely made appearances in the independent state and very few people had ever seen Ji Shuran's true appearance, his ferocious name had reverberated through the independent state since he was young. From now on, you'll be struck off from the independent state, Ji Shuran aloofly said. Soon, a raging flame started to take over the headquarters, swallowing it whole. He wouldn't forgive any entity that harmed her. He would only destroy and erase their existence. Perhaps feeling a bit chilly, the man wrapped his overcoat around him more tightly. Then he led his group away without looking back. Chapter 2461, Side Story, Ji Shuran 6. The independent state. It was winter and heavy snow fluttered from the sky like goose feathers throughout the entire day. In the rear courtyard of the headquarters of Emperor Ji's faction, Ji Shuran was wearing a thick overcoat while his head of long hair was casually draped behind him. Currently, the man was kneeling down and meticulously caring for the fruits and vegetables he personally planted. Brother Shuran, are you planning to retire and return to civilian life? Worryless Nya asked from her seat in the courtyard as she watched Ji Shuran, who had quite a few splatters of rain and snow on his body. She didn't understand why this man planted these fruits and vegetables. Retire and return to civilian life. Ji Shuran murmured softly, startled. Retire and return to civilian life, Worryless Nya said jokingly. What? Is this the life you want? Ji Shuran turned to Worryless Nya. The life I want, Worryless Nya pondered for a moment with her chin propped on her hand. A few fields, 3 meals of salted vegetables, working from sunrise to sunset. Ordinary and peaceful. Ji Shuran smiled. Are you willing to leave it all behind? Why wouldn't I? You though, are you willing to leave it all behind? Worryless Nya asked Ji Shuran. Ji Shuran was startled. Your future includes me too. Of course. Worryless Nya dashed forward and looped her arm around his arm. I can be without everyone. I just can't go without you in my life. But I'm not willing. Ji Shuran shook his head. The anticipation in Worryless Nya's eyes instantly turned into an indescribable emotion. I'm not willing to make you eat only pickled vegetables for all 3 meals, so how about we add some sweet and sour spare ribs? Ji Shuran chuckled lightly. Fuck, what's going on with this man? Brother Shuran, are you willing to leave this life and abandon everything? Worryless Nya was incredulous. In the independent state, he was akin to an emperor who lorded over the world and possessed almost supreme power. Ji Shuran shook his head and slowly stood up. He wrapped the girl's jacket around her more tightly as he said, I wouldn't unless I was trading this life for you. Really? Worryless Nya stood in her spot, watching his movements before meeting his enthralling, gentle eyes. She felt that her heart had been melted by his blazing warmth already. What do you think? The man tapped the tip of her nose with his finger. Go in first, it's cold out here. Ji Shuran turned around and picked some of the vegetables and fruits he planted. I grew these myself since I don't trust other people's produce. Come over to eat often. These are all very healthy. You planted all of this for me? Worryless Nya was astonished. The corners of his lips turned up, happiness also surfacing in his eyes. After he finished picking the produce, he walked forward and grasped her hand before leading her toward the kitchen. Ji Shuran's culinary skills had been honed more and more exquisitely. His dishes looked and smelled amazing and tasted incredible, especially his sweet and sour spare ribs. Worryless Nya wanted nothing more than to inhale even the plate. However, the girl didn't like eating vegetables and only consumed meat, aside from Ji Shuran's vegetables. That evening, anyone who looked down from the hilltop at Emperor Ji's headquarters would have a panoramic view of the resplendence below. The man sat at the mountain top, the girl sitting next to him. You've worked hard for all of this for a very long time, the girl commented softly. That's right. I haven't stopped since I was a youth. Ji Shuran nodded. My fearless alliance is also very fearsome right now. It's strange though, the factions that kept oppressing us before have all disappeared, Worryless Nya said. That's good. Ji Shuran smiled. The girl turned to him. It's not your doing, right? It isn't. The man shook his head. Suspicious. Worryless Nya pursed her lips. Chapter 2462, Side Story, Ji Shuran 7, if you like it, all of this can be yours, Ji Shuran said with a chuckle as he looked at the world below him. It can be mine. The girl also surveyed the land underneath them. This was akin to an empire. But you're Emperor Ji. Are you willing to yield everything to me? Worryless Nya joked. If you want to become Emperor Nya, Ji Shuran replied. Emperor Nya? Worryless Nya hastily shook her head. Forget it, that sounds terrible. I would rather keep being by phone. Before the girl could say anything else, the man tugged her into his arms. Caught off guard, the girl fell against his chest. When worryless Nia recovered, a blush instantly covered her face. She'd never experienced this reddening and heart-racing feeling. Although there were many good-looking men in the world, Ji Xiuran's uniqueness was irreplaceable. "Don't work too hard," Ji Xiuran softly said. "You're the one working hard," worryless Nia retorted. "Oh right, lately, the Tong family, the Zhou family, and that Li Chun you defeated have released word that they want your life. You know about that, right?" "I don't." Ji Xiuran shook his head. "Huh? You don't know?" Worryless Nia was stunned. "How could you not know? Isn't that too dangerous?" "I don't care too much about things said by strays." Ji Xiuran smiled. "You must protect yourself well, all right?" The girl was filled with worry. Ji Xiuran agreed. "Your complexion doesn't look too good." The girl carefully examined his face. "Maybe it's because of the cold. Let's go back inside." Ji Xiuran stood up and naturally took her hand into his before leaving this place. A few days later, inside the study of Emperor Ji's headquarters, Emperor Ji, Skeleton quickly strode inside. "Speak," Ji Xiuran said. "It's regarding Miss Worryless." Skeleton was hesitant. The man instantly furrowed his brows. "What happened?" "Miss Worryless fell to the Zhou family, the Tong family, and Li Chun's ploy, and was captured," Skeleton reported truthfully. The always calm man shot up instantly. Never seen before, iciness and violent rage erupted from his eyes and veins bulged on his forehead. He set his hand on his desk as if he was trying to calm himself down. However, a loud boom rang out and wooden pieces scattered everywhere. The desk had been crushed. Emperor Ji, Skeleton was shocked. This was the first time in his life that he had ever seen his master on the brink of losing all rationality. When had the always scheming and confident Emperor Ji looked the way he did today? Who leaked it out? The man was expressionless. However, Skeleton could sense that the man was restraining the wild beast that was about to shatter its cage and leap outside of him. "Emperor Ji. No one knows about your relationship with the president of the Fearless Alliance, by phone. I think that someone from our side probably saw Miss Worryless visiting our headquarters, and accidentally divulged it," Skeleton hastily explained. "Find them and kill without mercy," the man commanded. "Yes, how's the situation at the Fearless Alliance?" Ji Xiuran asked. "The Fearless Alliance has no idea Miss Worryless was captured. The Zhou family, the Tong family, and Li Chun paid a huge price this time, but even so, they suffered extensive damage and a dozen or so higher-ups were killed. Miss Worryless fought to the verge of exhaustion, but unfortunately, her opponents were too contemptible and too great in numbers," Skeleton replied. The man was frighteningly quiet, but Skeleton could sense the other man's insuppressible violent undercurrents. Chapter 2463, Side Story, Ji Xiuran 8, Give it to me. Ji Xiuran extended his hand towards Skeleton. "Give what to you, Emperor Ji?" Shock flitted through Skeleton's face, but he quickly concealed it. "The letter that Li Chun, the Zhou family, and the Tong family left for me," the man replied. Skeleton frowned deeply. How did Emperor Ji know? They have no grievances or grudges against Worryless. Li Chun and his group captured Worryless for no reason other than to force me to show up. Since they did it so covertly, they would have naturally left clues and a letter for me. Otherwise, what would be the point of abducting Worryless? The man added. Emperor Ji. But, Skeleton was hesitant. Don't make me say it a second time. The man was already on the brink of losing his rationality. In the end, Skeleton sighed and handed the letter to Ji Xiuran. After reading the letter, Ji Xiuran ordered, "No one is allowed to act rashly. I'll keep the appointment." What? Skeleton was aghast. What? He'll keep the appointment? That's an absolutely suicidal appointment. Emperor Ji, you mustn't. They went through Herculean efforts to abduct Miss Worryless because they wanted to make you give in. If you really meet with them, you'll die without a doubt. Skeleton hastily tried to stop him. As long as she's fine, my life is unimportant, the man murmured. This was the only mistake in his life, but one sole mistake could become an unredeemable blunder. No, Emperor G, if you go, both you and Miss Worryless will probably. If you don't go, Miss Worryless' life temporarily won't be at risk. After all, you're their only target. Skeleton said. Don't make me repeat myself, the man said coldly. Emperor G, scram. Skeleton could only clench his teeth and retreat. In a secret room, the girl was covered in blood and had her arms and legs bound, but her energy was still decent and she was icily and darkly staring at everyone in the room. I wonder if Ji Shuran truly cares about your life or not, a tall man said coldly as he looked at Worryless Nya. Ha, I heard Bai Feng and Ji Shuran had a good relationship. Even if Ji Shuran doesn't care about her life, we can strengthen our cause by using this opportunity to subsume the Fearless Alliance, Patriarch Tong interjected. Back then, Ji Shuran plotted and killed my son. This time, I'll definitely obliterate him. With just you guys. Worryless Nya stared at Li Chun, Patriarch Shou, and their henchmen and snorted. You overestimate yourselves. Indeed, if we didn't have you in our possession, perhaps we really would be overestimating ourselves. But with you here, everything is different. Li Chun glanced at Worryless Nya. Me? Worryless Nya shook her head. It appears I'll really have to disappoint you. Ji Shuran and I only have a business relationship, the Fearless Alliance has only just recently collaborated with Emperor Ji. It appears you've rashly acted without making thorough investigations. A shock swept over the occupants of the room. Ji Shuran. I prohibit you from coming. You mustn't come. Worryless Nya might have looked composed and placid on the surface, but anxiety had drowned her insides. Patriarch. A middle-aged man suddenly burst in. Ji Shuran is here. Really? Patriarch Tong's eyes lit up. I saw it myself. And he's all by himself, the middle-aged man replied. Good. Wonderful. Patriarch Shou was steaming with excitement. Son. I can finally avenge you. Worryless Nya froze. He still came. Is he an idiot? Doesn't he know this is a fatal plot with no possibility of survival? Why would he do this? Soon, a round of knocking was heard. The middle-aged man opened the door. In his overcoat, the man apathetically stood in front of the door. Is this a good time? Ha ha ha, welcome, Emperor Ji. Pardon me for not going out to meet you. You're welcome, you're too welcome. We were all waiting for you. Patriarch Tong chuckled. Chapter 2464, Side Story, Ji Shuran 9. The man pulled his jacket around himself more tightly before strolling into the room without any hesitation. Bam! The door was forcefully slammed shut following Ji Shuran's entrance. Ji Shuran, why did you come here? Are you stupid? A mist enveloped the girl's eyes when she saw Ji Shuran. He will die. However, the man didn't respond and swept his eyes over everyone else in the room. May I ask what everyone intended by employing this type of method to invite me here? It's nothing major. I just missed you dearly after not seeing you for a long time, Emperor Ji. We mainly wanted to see you and chat, Li Chun replied. Humph. Patriarch Zhou snorted. Ji Shuran, back then, you killed my son and framed the Tong family for it, making both of our families suffer immensely. You didn't expect to see this day, right? Ji Shuran's lips turned up and he nonchalantly said, you were merely too stupid. Ha, what kind of situation are we in? Your mouth is still so tough. Fine, since you're willing to come and meet your death for this woman, I'll respect you as a real man. You killed my son back then, so I will make this woman die in front of you today. Patriarch Zhou turned to the middle-aged man standing to the side and ordered, pierce her eyes first. That will be my greeting gift for Emperor Ji. The middle-aged man nodded and instantly directed his dagger toward Worryless Nya. Worryless Nya could hear the frightening sound of the dagger breaking the wind. Reflexively, she closed her eyes. Pfff. It was the sound of a blade piercing flesh. The girl felt several droplets of fiery warmth landing on her face. Worryless Nya's eyes shot open. The scene that greeted her made her pupils contract. The man shielded her behind him, his long hair flying in the air. However, his ink-colored hair was tainted with stains of blood. The dagger had pierced through the man's palm. Slash drip, drip. Slash droplets of blood followed Ji Shuran's fingers and fell onto the floor. Brother Shuran. Worryless Nya couldn't hold back her tears. The man turned back, his lips curling up into a smile directed at the girl. It was still that familiar smile with immense warmth overflowing from his eyes, as though he was still that sunny boy next door from their youth. Ha ha ha, you truly are Emperor Ji. If we didn't belong to different camps, I would really want to befriend you, Emperor Ji. After you die, I'll bury you honorably. You're a true man. Li Chun praised Ji Shuran. This noble man actually used his own hand to block a fatal blow for the girl. Ji Shuran sent the middle-aged man flying back with his palm before walking toward Worryless Nya without looking back. He surveyed the girl's wounds and softly asked, "It hurts a lot, right?" "It doesn't. It doesn't hurt. Hurry and leave." "Ji Shuran, leave." She screamed at the man with every bit of energy inside of her. However, a second later, the man embraced her. "Sorry. It's my fault, no. It really isn't." Tears soaked the man's overcoat and the girl vehemently shook her head in his arms. "Worryless. Don't be afraid. Regardless of where you are or what you go through. I'll stay with you," the man reassured her softly. "I'm not afraid. As long as you're here, I'm not afraid. Brother Shuran, I'm not afraid, but if the outcome is death, I don't want you to be here." The girl had never been as relaxed as she was now in the man's embrace. That resilient and strong president of the Fearless Alliance, Bai Feng, was now that small girl from when she was with Ji Shuran years ago. She would drool whenever she saw something yummy, she would make the boy carry her when she was tired, she would blush, and she would act like a child. "Even if you die, I'll be by your side," the man said. Chapter 2465, Side Story. Ji Shuran. 10 tears welled in the girl's eyes as she stared at the man. "I don't want you to die, Worryless, I won't let you die." The man gave her a comforting smile. Before Worryless Nya could respond, Ji Shuran asked, "Tell me, who injured you?" "That's not important," the girl shook her head with a smile. "It's important to me," Ji Shuran expressionlessly replied. The girl's gaze landed on the middle-aged man holding a backsword earlier. "Is that so?" Ji Shuran slowly stood up, his gaze landing on the middle-aged man. "Ha ha ha, Ji Shuran, haven't you grasped the situation and circumstances yet?" The middle-aged man didn't have a trace of fear on his face as he looked at Ji Shuran. Ji Shuran disappeared from his spot and reappeared next to the middle-aged man. Swish! Without wasting any words, Ji Shuran uncoiled his right arm and blood sprayed into the air a second later. The smile on the middle-aged man's face froze, swiftly replaced by fear. The middle-aged man clutched his neck with his hands, but the blood couldn't be stopped. His jugular was slashed by Ji Shuran, but the middle-aged man had no idea how Ji Shuran did it up until his death. Ji Shuran aloofly said, "My situation has nothing to do with how you harmed her." "Ha ha ha, you're Emperor Ji indeed. They all say Emperor Ji is powerful, and I originally thought they were just rumors. It's my first time seeing Emperor Ji fight. My horizons have been widened." Li Chun clapped with a laugh. Ji Shuran didn't respond and turned around to walk toward the girl. He used his dagger to untie her arms and legs. "Can you walk?" Ji Shuran inquired quietly. Worryless Nya shook her head. "No. I can't walk, right now, come." Ji Shuran bent down. "No, Brother Shuran, I'm begging you. Leave. If you don't take me, I believe, you can leave. Worryless Nya was unwilling. Ji Shuran shook his head and carried the girl on his back. Ji Shuran, this is my first time seeing you lower your head and bowing. Is a woman worth it? Even if it costs you your life? Li Chun's eyes glinted coldly. The man didn't answer and slowly walked forward with the girl on his back, step by step. Kill him, Li Chun ordered. Countless blades shone and gleamed ceaselessly. The man kicked and sent the people closest to him flying back like a dragon erupting from the sea. Idiots! Ji Shuran's weakness is by Feng. Li Chun taunted. Everyone changed their target and started attacking Worryless Nya. PFFF. It wasn't long before the man was covered in blood and his overcoat was dyed red. The man's body was trembling slightly, but his face remained devoid of any expression. Brother Shuran. Don't torment me like this anymore. Don't block blows for me anymore. I'm begging you. Behind the man, the girl's voice was broken with sobs. The man turned his head, a gentle smile hanging on his face. It doesn't hurt. You aren't hurting, but I'm hurting. The girl was hysterical. Worryless. I will get you out of here, the man promised after a moment of silence. Ji Shuran, I would like to see how you will be able to walk out of here alive. Li Chun leaped up, his dagger ferociously directed toward Worryless Nya. Ji Shuran instantly spun around. The dagger pierced into Ji Shuran's chest. Li Chun, do you think you've won? The man asked apathetically. Chapter 2466, Side Story, Ji Shuran 11, is that not so? Li Chun snorted. Your blood is boiling. Attack, Ji Shuran ordered expressionlessly. Li Chun was startled. Before Li Chun could react, a chilly glint flashed in the eyes of the experts behind Li Chun and their daggers ruthlessly pierced Li Chun's back at once. Why you? Li Chun turned around in shock and stared at his two confidants. Apologies. We've been Emperor Ji's men since long ago, one of the confidants replied coldly. Swish. The other man was unwilling to waste his words and stabbed his dagger into Li Chun's neck. Upon seeing this, Patriarch Zhou and Patriarch Tong exploded with rage. This god, damn. Ji Shuran. Li Chun was extremely strong and was considered among the A+ tier fighting forces in the independent state. Plus, they had the advantage in numbers, so even if Li Chun's confidants were Ji Shuran's men, Ji Shuran didn't dare to act rashly. He waited until Li Chun was relaxed enough before striking the fatal blow. Ji Shuran. He had been waiting this whole time. He actually gambled with his own life. This bastard had planned everything since the first step he took inside of this place. Unfortunately, Li Chun thought he'd completely defeated Ji Shuran but was merely floundering inside Ji Shuran's trap this entire time. Even if this was a dead-end fatal plot, Ji Shuran gambled with his life, and he won. Li Chun was dead. The remaining people were nothing. Emperor Ji. As the two confidants looked at Ji Shuran's swaying figure, their expressions revealed their trepidation. Ignore me. Ji Shuran glanced at Patriarch Zhou and Patriarch Tong. Make them taste all of the pain in this world. After saying that, the man carried the girl and left the place without looking back. Snow fluttered around them, and every single one of the man's steps appeared especially strained. Brother Shuran, put me down. The girl struggled. Finally, the girl struggled free and the man fell on a pile of snow. Gratification brimmed from the man's stunning face. He reached out and patted her long hair. Are you scared? I am. I'm scared you'll die. Ji Shuran, you idiot. The girl clutched Ji Shuran in her arms. If you die, what's the point in me living? You shouldn't have come. The man turned silent and didn't respond. But if you died, what's the point in me living? Half a month later, Ji Shuran, you're rather fearsome. Hai Tang mocked as she watched the man who could leave the bed and walk already. What is it? Ji Shuran asked. You were both nearly killed, Haitang said. It's fine to just look at the outcome, Ji Shuran replied. Ji Shuran, I'm asking you. Just what does worryless mean to you? Haitang asked a long while later, meeting Ji Shuran's eyes. Ji Shuran smiled faintly but didn't answer. He didn't need to share the answer with anyone. Sis Haitang. At that moment, worryless Nya walked inside with a pile of lunch boxes. Your true love is here. I'm leaving. Haitang smiled and turned to leave. You're here. Ji Shuran looked at worryless Nya. Hurry and eat. I made delicious food for you. Worryless Nya exclaimed cheerfully. Ji Shuran placidly sat back down on the bed and watched the girl open all the lunch boxes for him. This is soup brewed with an old hen to help you recuperate your blood. Here are some stir-fry dishes too, worryless Nya said. She then picked up a spoon and ordered him, open your mouth. Ji Shuran, does it taste good? The girl was eager. I lost my sense of taste looking at you and I can't taste the deliciousness of food anymore, Ji Shuran said with a smile. Chapter 2467, Side Story, Ji Shuran and time flew by. She journeyed across the world with her grandfather while he accomplished his dreams and ceaselessly expanded the Ji family's territory. The girl was still young and was still naive and clueless about romance, but he wasn't worried. Life was a long journey, and he still had a lot of time with her. He was also confident that his little worryless wouldn't easily take a liking to other men. However, he made calculations for everything but forgot to include heaven's will. Emperor Ji, your body is probably, the elderly man next to Haitang was staring at the man with deeply locked brows. After learning about his body's condition, the man didn't say anything. It felt like all of this had been predetermined in the unseen world. Sigh, extreme intelligence comes at a cost, the elderly man lamented with a soft sigh and a regretful shake of his head sometime later. I understand. The man was also quiet for a long time before turning to leave with a bitter smile. A swordsman had a sword, a scholar had a pen, but from now on, Ji Shuran wouldn't have worryless Nya anymore. It appeared the heavens didn't permit him to be in her future. Ji Shuran. Haitang hastily chased after the leaving man. You must recover well, the man paused and his gaze landed on Haitang. But I still have many things to do. Many things? Could they be more important than your life? Haitang pressed worriedly. Then you think lying in bed will stop him from taking my life? Ji Shuran pointed at the sky. I'll tell worryless. Haitang pulled out her phone. Ji Shuran shook his head. No need. Ji Shuran, what do you mean? Doesn't worryless have a right to know about such a big thing? Haitang frowned deeply. It'd just add to her worries, Ji Shuran replied softly. Just what are you saying? Do you plan to keep it a secret from worryless then push worryless away? Haitang asked. Ji Shuran remained silent. Ha, Ji Shuran. You're so heroic. Just who do you think you are? Are you really treating yourself like the male lead in a tragic romance? You'd shoulder all the big problems yourself and completely disappear from this world all by yourself? Haitang demanded furiously. Every person has the power to make their own choices. It has nothing to do with heroism. After saying that, the man turned to leave without looking back. On the island, inside the dilapidated storehouse, the man slowly opened his eyes, his complexion pale. He seemed to have had a dream. He dreamed about a first meeting, he dreamed about mutual companionship, he dreamed about loneliness and despair. Soon, the man fixed his white shirt with difficulty and faced the camera with a warm smile. I wish you a happy new marriage. As the man spoke, a ripple of emotion surfaced in his eyes. He lowered his head, not wanting the camera to capture any of his emotions. It was a long time before the man faced the camera again. Farewell. Next to the ocean, the man repositioned himself into a more comfortable position. He remembered that he and that girl had also sat next to the ocean like this many years ago and talked about their future as they ate a boxed lunch. Feeling the breeze from the ocean, the scene of their first meeting started playing again in his mind. At the G estate, the sun was blazing high in the sky. The girl was walking while carrying a giant pot, already soaked in sweat. She used a tree branch to prop the giant metal pot up and threw a lot of the food she stole from the G family's kitchen under the pot as bait. A moment later, having set up the bait, the girl hid behind a giant tree. She held the rope tied to the tree branch in her hand. She originally wanted to use this giant pot to capture the birds living in the G estate's rear mountain, but not a single bird took the bait after waiting for a long time. The girl was starting to drift to sleep when a boy holding a book appeared and stopped in front of the pot. He was startled and looked around him but didn't see a single person. All he saw was the pile of food sitting under the pot. What is this doing here? The boy knelt down and curiously trudged forward with his head sticking out curiously, looking underneath the pot. The drowsy girl felt movement from the rope in her hand and reflexively pulled it to the left. A loud bang rang out and the pot dropped down. Before the boy could react, he was stuck inside the pot. The girl excitedly sprinted out from behind the tree and stopped in front of the pot. She shouted with exhilaration, "Wow! Ha ha ha, I've caught it, I've caught it! Who's there?" When the girl heard a voice coming from inside the pot, she jolted in fright. "Wow, the bird has honed a spirit. Are you a goblin? You can speak. Who are you?" Me? My name is Worryless Nya, what about you?" "Worryless Nya." Worryless. At that time, he never would have guessed that he would be trapped by such a clumsy trap. And this trap lasted his entire life. Chapter 2468, Side Story, Nameless Nya 1, Learning a Skill. The boy put down the abacus he was holding and looked at his parents with a tilt of his head before promptly shaking his head. "What's there to learn? I won't go." The young master of the Nya family carried some fame to his name, and it wasn't simply because of the Nya family. Nameless Nya was extremely talented in martial arts but favored his abacus and frequently conducted trades with other people. "Dad, Mom, how much money does the Nya family have? After you die, won't I have to take over the management of the Nya family's finances? What's the use of learning martial arts? Just look at the Shin family." Nameless Nya expressed his objections to his parents' decision to send him to learn martial arts. Father Nya exploded with wrath. "You scoundrel! Immediately send him away." Within 3 days, Nameless Nya was sent out of the independent state. At a village in a small country neighboring the independent state, Nameless Nya looked at the mansion sitting in the center of the village, then looked at the owner of this mansion. He couldn't understand why his parents would send him to this lousy place in the middle of nowhere. Also, what was the deal with this woman who liked to smoke cigarettes next to him? His parents wanted him to learn martial arts from her. Nameless Nya couldn't tell what was unusual about this woman. She didn't seem to be that big of a deal. If he had to name a strength of hers, there was something. Whether it was this woman's appearance or her figure, they were both top-notch. However, she dressed very casually. She wore a pair of shabby jeans and a loose top, appearing rather unruly and free. If she put some effort into her looks, she would probably be a rare beauty. "Nameless, my ancestors had some connections to your ancestors. Your parents sent you to me to learn. I hope you can listen well in the future, okay?" the woman asked Nameless Nya with a light chuckle. Nameless Nya blinked and blinked. "Damn hag. Even my parents can't manage me, so what right do you have to control me? Blah." Nameless Nya snorted and turned to leave. However, he didn't take more than a few steps before the woman grabbed him by his collar and picked him up. "Punk, you're rather uncouth. How do your parents discipline you?" The woman snorted. "I'm warning you, release me immediately. A good man doesn't fight a woman, and this young master has never beaten a woman, but I don't mind breaking this rule. I'm telling you, I'm very strong." Nameless Nya started brandishing his claws in midair. The woman was amused by Nameless Nye's appearance and gently put him back on the ground. She stuck her hands into her jeans pockets, intrigued. Are you very strong? I really couldn't tell. If you can defeat me, I will send you back to the independent state. How about that? Alright, you were the one who said it. Don't blame your grandfather Nameless for ruining a flower and not knowing how to be tender to a woman. Nameless Nye harumphed. Ruining a flower. Being tender to a woman. Who did you learn these words from, little imp? The woman asked curiously. She really couldn't figure out how a 7 or 8-year-old child could say something like this. I learned without a teacher. Please call me a genius. Nameless Nye replied. Don't tell me you learned it from your father, the woman said, humored. Nameless Nye was startled. How did you know? Before the woman could say anything else, Nameless Nye suddenly looked behind the woman in astonishment. Mom, why did you come here? The woman reflexively looked behind her. Chapter 2469, Side Story, Nameless Nye too. Nameless Nye guffawed and swung his fist, charging toward the woman. The world is dangerous and human intentions are unpredictable. Let me teach you a lesson. However, a plop resounded and Nameless Nye tripped and crashed next to her feet. The woman turned around and looked at Nameless Nye, baffled. What did you say? Nameless Nye replied, Oh. I missed my mom too much, so I was probably having hallucinations. Who did you say you were teaching a lesson to? The woman stared at Nameless Nye. Didn't I come here to learn martial arts? Teach me a lesson then, Nameless Nye said. The woman instantly picked up Nameless Nye and strode toward the mansion up ahead. To be my student, you have to abide by 3 rules, the woman said to Nameless Nye in the living room. Which 3 rules? Nameless Nye asked curiously. First, from today onward, you're responsible for the cleaning the house as well as buying groceries and cooking. Second, from now on, you'll do whatever I say without any objections. Third, you're now a member of our family and the only man in the house, so you must work and train harder so that you can at least protect us in the future. Nameless Nye sat on the sofa with one leg crossed over his knee and snorted when the woman finished speaking. What do you mean I'm the only man? Is your husband dead? Are you a widow? Don't even think about making me buy groceries, cook, and clean. I want to learn the monkey fists, so how about you give me a monkey show? Before the woman could respond, an apathetic girl walked downstairs from the 2nd floor with a white dress. Mom, so noisy, the girl softly said to the woman. Her gaze toward Nameless Nye was aloof but was mixed with a trace of curiosity. Who are you? Nameless Nye asked the girl. You're in my house. Why are you asking who I am? The girl retorted calmly. Nameless Nye, she's my daughter. In terms of family hierarchy, you should call her aunt, the woman said. Aunt? Nameless Nye stared at the girl. Why should I call her aunt? Why isn't she calling me grandfather instead? If she calls me grandfather, I'll call her aunt. If we address each other like this, then I can accept that. Before the woman could respond, a realization dawned on Nameless Nye. She's your daughter. Which means you really have a husband, but you just said I was the only man in the house. Your husband really is dead, and you're a widow. Imp, don't take a mile when I've given you an inch. I never hit children, the woman responded coldly. Hag, don't bare your fangs at me. I never hit women. Nameless Nye wasn't to be outdone. Ling Miao, help mommy teach this imp a hard lesson, the woman said to the girl. The girl shook her head though. It'd dirty my hands. It appears I have no choice but to personally teach you a lesson, imp. The woman snorted. Come. Do you think I'd be scared of you, a widow? Nameless Nye pursed his lips. About half an hour passed. Nameless Nye, who was beaten black and blue, looked at the woman with a grin on his face. Auntie Ling, great aunt, give me some money. I'll go buy some groceries, are you giving in? Auntie Ling asked Nameless Nye. How could I give in? It's just that I'm the only man in the house, so I have to yield to you and Aunt Ling Miao. This is just a basic form of respect. Nameless Nya, who was basically beaten to submission, could only start shouldering all the chores in this house. He did all the cleaning and cooking every day. Thankfully, Auntie Ling treated him decently and left the laundry to Ling Miao. Chapter 2470, Side Story, Nameless Nya 3, Ling Miao, why's your surname Ling? Nameless Nya curiously stared at the girl. Why is your surname Nya? The girl retorted. My dad's surname is Nya, Nameless Nya replied. But isn't your father's surname Ling? Ling Miao glanced at him. My dad's situation is a bit special. You can take it as I took my mom's surname. Nameless Nya's expression was a bit awkward. I also took my mom's surname. Is there a problem? Ling Miao said detachedly. What I meant was, where did your dad go? Nameless Nya was blunt. Ling Miao pondered over it for a moment and didn't evade the question. My dad abandoned my mom and me and ran off with another woman. Huh? Nameless Nya was astonished. I thought your dad died, your mom was a widow, and you were an orphan. Ling Miao, however, Great Aunt Ling is so pretty. Why would your dad run off with another woman? Could it be that woman is prettier than Great Aunt Ling? Nameless Nya inquired nosily. If you don't know how to talk, you're best off staying quiet. Ling Miao furrowed her brows. Fine, I won't talk. Oh right, when I came, I saw a small Ferris wheel in town. Let's go out and play a bit, Nameless Nya suggested with a grin. Ling Miao shook her head. My mom doesn't allow me to go out and play. Great Aunt Ling doesn't allow you to go out and play. Nameless Nya was shocked. Isn't that smothering our true nature? That's unforgivably wicked. And I'm not that interested, Ling Miao continued. Nameless Nya pursed his lips. How could you not be interested? I'm telling you, it's because you haven't tried. Come, I'll take you. Nameless Nya grasped Ling Miao's hand and tried to move. However, 2 seconds later, a plop was heard. Nameless Nya suddenly lost balance and was thrown to the ground by Ling Miao. Ah! Nameless Nya fell on the ground with a wail. Are you okay? A shadow of worry flickered through Ling Miao's eyes when she heard how awful Nameless Nya was howling. She didn't use any force. How could I be okay? I'm going to tell Great Aunt Ling that you actually hit me. Nameless Nya was full of grievances. Where does it hurt? Ling Miao gently knelt down, her bright eyes examining Nameless Nya. My head. There's a giant bump. Feel it. Nameless Nya snorted from his spot on the ground. Ling Miao softly touched Nameless Nya's head and said, It'll be fine. It'll go away soon. What do you mean fine? I'm telling you, I was going easy on you earlier and suppressing my instincts, or else you'd definitely be seriously injured right now. You might even be dead, Nameless Nya grumbled grumpily. Ling Miao had no choice but to nod. Alright, I'll apologize to you. I won't hit you next time. If you still aren't happy with that, you can also hit me once. Who wants to hit you? I have no interest in hitting you, Nameless Nya responded. Then, what do you want? Ling Miao asked. Nameless Nya dusted off his bum and stood up, grasping Ling Miao's hand again. Let's go on the Ferris wheel. He just finished speaking when he lost his balance again and was knocked to the ground by Ling Miao instinctively. You liar. Didn't you say, you wouldn't hit me again? Why did you hit me again? Is it because you think I can't beat you? Nameless Nya furiously stared at Ling Miao, his eyes wide open. Ling Miao was quiet for a moment before answering, it was instinct. Chapter 2471, Side Story, Nameless Nya 4, I don't care. You have to take me out today or else we'll be strangers our whole lives. It'll be a struggle to the death and only one of us will come out alive. I will put poison in your food and poison you to death. Nameless Nya screamed. Ling Miao, you can go out to play yourself. Why do you need me to take you? Ling Miao didn't understand. Nonsense. I've just arrived in this place that's in the middle of nowhere. If I go out, I won't be able to find my way back. Anyway, aren't you my aunt? You're 1 generation older than me, so what's wrong with you taking me out to have fun? Isn't that within your duties and responsibilities? Am I calling you aunt for no reason? If you won't take me out, then you have to call me grandfather. You have to pay me back. Nameless Nya exclaimed. In the end, Ling Miao could only agree to Nameless Nya's request and take him out to have fun. The two of them walked for about half an hour before arriving at an abandoned Ferris wheel in the middle of town. Ling Miao unwaveringly stared at the Ferris wheel, seemingly deep in thought. Don't tell me you've never gone on one. Nameless Nya questioned. Ling Miao shook her head. Since she was born, she'd never even gone to an amusement park. Are you done looking at it? Let's go home, Ling Miao said. Are you joking? I haven't gone on it yet. Nameless Nya shook his head. This place has been abandoned for a long time. Entry isn't allowed. Ling Miao looked at Nameless Nya. So what? We can just secretly sneak inside. He laughed mischievously. Ling Miao swore that this was the first time in her life she'd done something this crazy. She snuck onto the Ferris wheel with Nameless Nya. However, due to the Ferris wheel being dilapidated, it couldn't move, so the duo could only climb to the middle level. And since the Ferris wheel wasn't that high, it wasn't too dangerous. What do you think? Nice and cool, right? Nameless Nya grinned. Ling Miao nodded lightly. Sigh, you're so sad. You haven't even been on a Ferris wheel before. Nameless Nya shook his head. I heard, your parents are also very strict. Do you go out to play often? Ling Miao was inquisitive. They are strict and my parents also never let me go out to play. But thankfully, I have a younger sister. Her name is Worryless Nya, and she frequently secretly takes me out to play. If my parents get angry, I can say it was my sister who forcefully dragged me out. It's not like I can beat her anyway, Nameless Nya replied after a moment of thought. Is that so? Ling Miao was pensive. Worryless Nya. That's a nice name. Nice sounding. How? It means thoughtless and heartless. Nameless Nya stared into the distance. I really envy you for having a sister. Ling Miao peered at him. Envy me? Nameless Nya was startled briefly before bursting into laughter. What's there to envy? My sister was taken away by my grandpa since she was young and rarely comes home. My grandpa has a conflict with my parents and prohibits my sister from coming into contact with my parents. My grandpa is seriously fearsome and taught my sister really well, to the point that I still can't beat her and she bullies me often. Isn't being bullied by a sister also a very blessed thing? Ling Miao asked. You're very right. Did you also want to be blessed? You can achieve it too. In terms of family position, I call you my aunt. Why did you hit me today? Nameless Nya shot her a glance. Ling Miao, my mom's really fearsome. You can study well by her side. My mom said that you have a rare talent and she's the only one qualified to teach you. When you grow up, you can return to the independent state and properly protect your sister, Ling Miao eventually replied softly. Chapter 2472, Side Story, Nameless Nya 5, Protect Her. Nameless Nya snorted. When I'm strong, I'll beat her to death and show her how mighty her brother is. Nameless Nya and Ling Miao lingered on the Ferris wheel until night time, until a world-shaking furious scream was heard from below them. You two little brats, hurry and get your asses down here. If I don't beat you to death today, I'll take your surnames. Ling Miao's expression changed immediately. It's over. Mommy discovered us. What are you scared of? Let me do it. Nameless Nya then yelled down, come here, you vicious woman. Come up and catch us if you can. Fine, you little brat. Under Nameless Nya's incredulous gaze, the provoked Auntie Ling climbed up in an extremely short amount of time like a gecko. Great Aunt Ling, it had nothing to do with me. It's all her. It was Aunt Ling. She beat me and insisted on taking me out to play. I was forced. Ah. Don't hit my face. In the living room of the mansion, Nameless Nya and Ling Miao were both holding water buckets. They were both punished by Auntie Ling. Say, I'm at least the only man in this family, but Great Aunt Ling doesn't respect me at all or show me any face. Is that appropriate? I want to rebel. She's crueler than my mom. Nameless Nya grumbled, brimming with disgruntlement. We deserve this punishment, Ling Miao replied aloofly. I think you're just used to being slaved around. Your kind of thinking is too frightening. What do you mean we deserve this punishment? I'm telling you, you have to rebel. Like when my parents made me go to school when I was in the independent state, I didn't go. What could they have done to me? Nameless Nya declared proudly. And then? Ling Miao was brimming with curiosity. A concept like resistance was much too foreign to her. And then, they hired a private tutor for me at home. Sigh, Nameless Nya wanted to cry. Oh, then it's better to not rebel. Ling Miao shook her head. Wrong. Rebelling is a type of attitude. Nameless Nya had an enigmatic expression. You want to rebel, huh? Auntie Ling's shouting was suddenly heard from upstairs. Great Auntie Ling, it's Aunt Ling who wanted to rebel. You mustn't be angry, I'm trying to correct Aunt's thinking. I promise I can accomplish it and I'll make her repent sincerely. Nameless Nya yelled back hastily. Ling Miao, when Auntie Ling was quiet again, Nameless Nya couldn't help but look at Ling Miao. Say, do you really not know how to rebel? I was already doing you wrong like that, but you still didn't fight back. Ling Miao turned to him. Didn't you say I'm your aunt? There's nothing wrong with me protecting you a little. The next morning at dawn, Nameless Nya was arranged to study together with Ling Miao. You have your culture lessons today, personally taught by me, your most heroic and well-esteemed mother and great aunt, Ling Miao announced to Nameless Nya and Ling Miao, who were currently eating breakfast. Aunt, what level of education do you have, huh? You're teaching us. Nameless Nya questioned Auntie Ling. Auntie Ling was startled for a moment before she turned contemplative. I had 2 years of private school when I was young, in today's terms, that would be a kindergarten education. Nameless Nya was dumbfounded. What? You have objections? Auntie Ling viciously glared at Nameless Nya. Great Aunt Ling, that's great. Your education level suits me perfectly. I'll listen to your lessons well. Nameless Nya swore that this was the easiest culture class he'd ever attended. He never knew culture classes could be this uncultured. Chapter 2473, Side Story, Nameless Nya 6, Little brat, you're quite good at math. Auntie Ling stared at Nameless Nya. Nameless Nya's lips turned up as he actually pulled out an archaic abacus from his jacket. Great Aunt Ling, just poke around the independent state. Who doesn't know that I, Nameless Nya, am the king of math, the supreme leader amongst prodigies? You know the Shen family of the independent state, right? They're the wealthiest clan in the independent state. But just watch, one day, I'll knock them down using my unparalleled math skills and business-geared brain. Auntie Ling's lips twitched. I finally understand why your parents sent you here. You have such superb talent, but you won't do something proper and want to run off to do business? Great Aunt Ling, you're too stupid. Nameless Nya sighed, his expression serious. Doing business is great. What's the point of learning martial arts as a boss? When I become a boss, I can hire countless martial arts experts for my usage and I can establish my own mercenary team. I'm rich and I would be the boss, so those experts would all have to listen to me. True. Auntie Ling nodded. However, I'm afraid this reasoning doesn't suit the independent state, no? Nameless Nya's thoughts would be completely valid in the outside world, but what kind of place was the independent state? The Shen family was simply an exception, not everyone could become the next Shen family. Anyway, does the Nya family lack money? The clan is prosperous and its business is flourishing, but they simply lack an expert to hold down the clan. Your parents are hoping you will come out successful, so stop thinking about these useless things. I'm confiscating the abacus. Auntie Ling immediately took away his abacus. That's fine. Nameless Nya smirked as he pulled another item out of his pocket. I still have a calculator. Also confiscated. Auntie Ling snatched the calculator. You. Nameless Nya turned furious at once. If you dare to curse, I'll slap your dirty mouth. Auntie Ling threatened viciously. You did wonderfully. Nameless Nya immediately deflated like a leaking balloon. On the side, a rare faint smile actually appeared on Ling Miao's eternally glacial face. She also didn't know why this boy made her inexplicably happy, but watching him was like watching a comedy movie. Great aunt, you confiscated my most valuable possessions. There's no meaning to my life anymore. That's super unfair. Nameless Nya appeared to be unable to take this lying down. What do you want then? You can snatch them back if you're capable. Auntie Ling pursed her lips. I'm a civilized and upright person, so you must trade them with something of equal value. Nameless Nya displayed his businessman nature. Not waiting for her to respond, Nameless Nya continued, what's your most valuable possession, Auntie Ling? My daughter, Auntie Ling blurted out. Then I will trade my calculator and my abacus for Aunt Ling Miao, Nameless Nya quickly said. Am I only worth a calculator and an abacus? Ling Miao looked at Nameless Nya with slightly furrowed brows. Auntie Ling was intrigued. Why do you want Ling Miao? Why do you want my calculator and abacus? Nameless Nya retorted. How should I know? Auntie Ling replied. Then how should I know? Anyway, they're both our most valuable possessions, so it's fine as long as I'm not taking a loss, Nameless Nya said. Auntie Ling, alright, then we've come to a happy decision. Great Aunt Ling Miao will be mine from now on, so if you ever want to punish me, it'll be directed toward Aunt Ling Miao and she'll take the punishment for me, Nameless Nya added after a moment of thought. Chapter 2474, Side Story, Nameless Nya 7, I don't agree, Ling Miao interjected. That won't work. This is a trade between Great Aunt Ling and I, unless you make her return my calculator and abacus to me, Nameless Nya rebutted with a pout. Auntie Ling stared at Nameless Nya like he was an alien, unable to help herself from giving him a thumbs up. You're the most thick-faced and shameless person I've ever seen in my life. You're still young right now, but when you grow up, just how thick will your face become? Thick-faced? Nameless Nya looked at her in astonishment. Great Aunt Ling, how could you talk about me like that? How am I thick-faced? Please watch your words and don't hurt my fragile heart, alright? Auntie Ling, after Auntie Ling left, Nameless Nya glanced at Ling Miao and grinned. From now on, you'll be my attendant. Great Aunt Ling already sold you to me, wait no, she traded you to me. You have to listen to me and can't object to what I say or do anything different than what I tell you. Ling Miao didn't even look at Nameless Nya and turned around, heading upstairs to her bedroom. Nameless Nya hastily shouted, Hey! Don't run away. I have to negotiate with the fatty nearby later. You need to come to bolster my courage. No. Ling Miao's voice drifted from upstairs. That fatty is the local tyrant around here. Don't provoke him. Fine. I'll go myself if you don't go. Nameless Nya snorted before leaving the house while swaggering. Nameless Nya, you bastard, you actually dared to deceive me? In the forest, the youth revealed a vicious expression as he stared at Nameless Nya. Fuck you, who deceived you? Nameless Nya retorted. You took my money and said you'd get your elder sister to go on a date with me, didn't you? The short and fat kid shouted. What you said is correct, but I also didn't break my word. Nameless Nya nodded without denying it. Some time ago, Nameless Nya got to know the famous fat local tyrant, and the two of them made a trade. The roly-poly kid would give Nameless Nya a certain amount of compensation and Nameless Nya would introduce his elder sister to him. However, day after day passed, but nameless Nya still didn't fulfill his promise, and the roly-poly kid, who still hadn't seen Ling Miao, finally became impatient. Since you admit it, great. Tell me how we should resolve this matter. The roly-poly kid irritatedly looked at nameless Nya. Resolve what? I'll definitely keep my promise and bring my sister here, nameless Nya said. Give me a time frame. Just when will you bring Ling Miao to me? The roly-poly kid questioned him. Nameless Nya was startled and exclaimed with a surprised expression, What Ling Miao? Who said I'll bring Ling Miao to you? Nameless Nya, I've given you the money already. Are you playing with me, huh? The roly-poly kid looked ferocious. You promised you'd bring your sister to me yourself. Nameless Nya shook his head though. Damn fatso, I did say that, but Ling Miao is my aunt, not my sister. I said I would bring my sister to you, I didn't say I'd bring my aunt to you, correct? What did you say? The fatso was dumbfounded. Ling Miao's age was very similar to nameless Nya, so how was she an entire generation above him? His aunt? Nameless Nya, you bastard. Alright then. Didn't you ask about my reputation around here? You dare to trick me? You're dead. The roly-poly kid had a menacing expression. Chapter 2475, Side Story, Nameless Nya ate. Nameless Nya glared at the fatty. Blah. Come here if you're so great. Your grandfather Nameless will knock out your front teeth. I'll own you. Nameless Nya, you piece of shit. You dare to act so arrogant with me? The roly-poly kid was furious. Hold on, nameless Nya called out when he saw the fatty ferociously charging toward him. How about this? Give me a little more money, and I'll bring my aunt here and introduce her to you. What do you think? It's useless even if you bring your mom here. The fatty picked up a rock from the ground. You'll be my father if I don't kill you today. Huh? They all say you're the famous tyrant around here, but how come I can't tell at all? What era is it? You want to do a 1v1 with me? Nameless Nya hastily said when he saw the fatty's intentions. The roly-poly kid paused, not understanding nameless Nya's meaning. He demanded frankly, Nameless Nya, you piece of shit. What do you mean? What do I mean? Nameless Nya snorted. Let's set up a fight if you have the balls. What's so great about 1v1? We can't show off our positions or statuses with that at all. How about this, we'll decide on a time and place and each find our own people if we can. Whoever can bring more people is mightier. Whoever wins will be the new tyrant in this town. How about that? The fatty was quiet for a moment, as though he was considering it. Ha ha ha, damn fatso. I bet you can't summon anyone, so you must be terrified to death right now. How about you give me a kowtow and we'll leave this matter behind us? Nameless Nya mocked. Bullshit. The roly-poly kid viciously glared at Nameless Nya. I'm afraid. Ha, what a funny joke. I've never cried once since I was born. The word afraid doesn't exist in my dictionary. I don't even know how to write it. Then let's set up a fight time. Nameless Nya taunted. Alright. Let's do it. I'm telling you, I have 20 brothers. We'll meet up here again tomorrow afternoon. Whoever doesn't come is a runt, the fatty declared. Sure. Whoever doesn't come is a runt. Nameless Nya nodded. Nearby, Ling Miao frowned lightly. Nameless Nya actually used her to conduct business and offended this little tyrant. She was originally a little worried about Nameless Nya's safety, but after following him, she discovered her worries were unfounded. It wouldn't be a loss even if he was beaten to death by this fatty. Not only did he bargain with her but he also solicited a fight. He barely knew anyone here. Even if he did, no one would be willing to provoke that little tyrant. Who could Nameless Nya find to help him? When Ling Miao got home, she thought Nameless Nya would seek help from her or her mom, but he didn't mention a word. The next day, at the agreed-upon time, they were in the same small forest as yesterday. The roly-poly kid really did bring a dozen or so youths. Soon, Nameless Nya appeared in the roly-poly kid's line of sight. Ha ha ha, Nameless Nya, you piece of shit, how many people did you bring? The fatty was gloating. Oh, I brought only one person, Nameless Nya replied. One person? The fatty was startled briefly before bursting into laughter. You're really suicidal. Come on, call out the wimpy bastard you brought here. You can't talk like that. What wimpy bastard? How could you curse like that? Nameless Nya declared, you mustn't curse. Be civilized. Chapter 2476, Side Story, Nameless Nya 9, so what if I cursed? You did bring a wimpy bastard. Coward. Piece of trash, the fatty mocked. Sigh, Nameless Nya sighed and turned to the woods behind him. Come out, uncle. A second later, a man holding a leather belt marched out from the trees. When the fatty saw the man, he jolted and his expression dropped. The fatty never expected the person Nameless Nya brought would actually be his dad. As Nameless Nya watched the fatty chased around by the man holding the whip, he dug out a bag of seeds from his pocket. You're welcome, uncle. Children have to be disciplined from a young age. He's so young but he's already learned how to arrange fights, so what will he do when he grows up? You should just beat him to death now. Little mongrel, you already know how to arrange fights, huh? You don't know anything or have any skills and I sent you to school, but you actually ditched class. The man mercilessly whipped the fatty with his belt. Ah. Dad, I won't do it again. I really won't do it again, scream after scream tore out of the fatty's mouth. He'd been struck several times by the belt already. I'll show you how I'm going to clean house today. I'll make you learn your lesson. The man sounded disappointed. The companions brought by the fatty were all stupefied and dazed. No one could have expected the boy who proposed the fight to be this thick-faced. He actually summoned the parents and called the father. It was clearly him who proposed the fight, all right? How could he possibly be this shameless? Nearby, Nameless Nya cracked a seed open before smacking his lips. Sigh, that's right. He's misbehaved at such a young age, learned from bad apples and looks at bad people as models. When he grows up, he'll definitely become a pest for society. Uncle, your son was forcing me to introduce my aunt to him to befriend her. When I wasn't willing, he cursed me out and hit me. The fatty wanted to say something but immediately suffered another whiplash. He could only cradle his head and burrow to avoid the pain. That's not all. He steals all the pocket money my great-aunt gives me every day, saying it's a protection fee I owe him. If I don't give him the money, he beat me and has beaten me to tears a few times. Nameless Nya sighed. As the fatty wailed, he viciously glared at Nameless Nya. Freaking. It was obviously this piece of shit who conned his money. Dad, he's the one who tricked me out of my money, the fatty yelled. However, the man immediately cracked a whip onto his son's back again. You've learned how to lie, huh? Look at how old he is and how old you are, yet you're saying he tricked you out of your money. I'm gonna kill you today. The fatty had nowhere to shed his tears, despair written all over his face. And you were forcing Nameless to bring his aunt out, huh? Wimpy bastard. What do you want to do? Do you want to take off into space? How old are you, huh? The more the man spoke, the angrier he got. He raised his belt and kept chasing his son. After beating the fatty for half an hour, the man tossed aside the belt, ripped from its use, and walked over to Nameless Nya. How much money did my plump kid steal from you? It wasn't that much actually. It's just grocery money my great-aunt gives me every day. It's about this much. Nameless Nya pointed a few fingers up. What a good child. You know to help your family out at such a young age and know how to buy groceries. The man exasperatedly shook his head as he glanced at his own kid. Here's the money back, Uncle will return it to you. If he bullies you again, come and tell Uncle, the man said. All right, Uncle. Thank you, Uncle. Nameless Nya frantically nodded.